The Selfish Giant is a touching short story by Oscar Wilde that is included in the Class 11 English curriculum in Nepal. It's a tale that combines elements of fantasy with a moral lesson. Here's a summary of the story. The story begins in a beautiful garden where children love to play. This garden belongs to a giant who has been away for 7 years. Upon his return, he is displeased to find the children in his garden and decides to build a high wall to keep them out, hanging a sign that reads, "Trespassers will be prosecuted." With the children gone, the garden becomes a perpetual winter, as spring refuses to return without the laughter and joy of the children. One day, the giant hears beautiful music and discovers that through a small hole in the wall, the children have returned, and with them, spring has also returned to the garden. Moved by the sight of a young boy who is unable to climb a tree, the giant's heart melts. He helps the boy into the tree and then knocks down the wall, inviting all the children to play in his garden whenever they wish. The garden flourishes once again, but the boy the giant helped disappears, and the giant is left longing for his return. Years later, the giant is old and feeble, and one winter morning, he sees the boy by the tree, which is covered in white blossoms. The boy tells the giant that he has come to take him to his garden, which is paradise. The giant dies and is taken to heaven by the boy, who is revealed to be an angel or a representation of Christ. The story conveys a message about the transformative power of love and kindness. It teaches that selfishness leads to isolation and unhappiness, while sharing and caring for others brings joy and ultimately redemption. Certainly. Let's delve deeper into the details of The Selfish Giant, a beautiful short story by Oscar Wilde. This story is part of the Class 11 English curriculum in Nepal and falls under the section of literature. Here's a more elaborate summary. Summary of The Selfish Giant. 1. Setting and characters. The story begins in a lovely garden owned by a selfish giant. The garden is large, with soft grass, fruit trees, and birds singing sweetly. The giant has been away for 7 years and returns to find children playing in his garden. 2. The giant's selfishness. The giant is displeased with the children and decides to build a high wall to keep them out. He hangs a sign that reads, "Trespassers will be prosecuted." The garden becomes a perpetual winter without the laughter and joy of the children. 3. Spring returns. One day, the giant hears beautiful music and discovers that children have returned through a small hole in the wall. Spring returns to the garden as the children play, trees blossom, and birds sing. However, in one corner, there is still winter. 4. The boy who couldn't climb. The giant sees a young boy who cannot reach the branches of a tree. His heart melts, and he realizes his selfishness. He helps the boy onto the tree, tears down the walls, and allows children to play forever. 5. The angelic boy. The other children return, and spring flourishes. The boy who couldn't climb disappears, but the giant plays with the children. Years later, the giant is old and feeble. He sees a tree with white blossoms and the wounded boy standing under it. The boy kisses the giant, and the giant is taken to paradise. Themes and lessons. Selflessness and love. The giant learns that sharing and caring for others bring joy and redemption. Nature's response. The changing seasons in the garden reflect the giant's actions and emotions. Spiritual symbolism. The boy represents an angel or Christ, teaching the giant about love and sacrifice.